solving 9a, solving and combining like terms on both sides of the equations. So in 8, we only had unknowns on one side of the equal sign. We combined them and then we solved. Here we have them on both sides and we're going to move them over to one side, then get them alone. Take a screenshot and let's get started. For these problems, we are going to, of course, undo PEMDAS to solve, which means to get our unknown alone. So we have packages, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. In this lesson, we're only dealing with multiply, divide, and add, subtract. So what we want to do is first we want to get all our unknowns on one side of the equal sign, but they're not alone yet because if there's something attached by multiplication, we have to move it by dividing. So our second step is going to be dividing. One thing we're going to focus on is we're going to keep our x term positive. So go back to lesson 5 to understand how to keep our x term positive. And remember, 5a is with just integer values, 5b is with fractions, and 5c is with variables. Let's get started. Number 1, 3x plus 2x plus 5x equals 30. These are really similar to the ones we did in lesson 8. I have 3x's and 2x's. 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 5 more x's. That gives me 10 x's all together. My unknown is almost alone. It has a 10 attached by multiplication. How do we undo multiplication? It's complement division. So divide to the other side of the equal sign. And I'm getting x equals 0 over 0 goes away, and I get 3. Number 2, 3x plus 2x equals 30 minus 5x. Remember, first we want to get all our unknowns on one side, and then we want to get them alone. I'm going to choose to move this 5x, which is attached by subtraction, by addition to the other side of the equal sign, because I'd like to keep my unknown terms positive as much as I can. 3x plus 2x is 5x, plus another 5x's is 10x's, equals 30. I want to get the x alone. 10's attached by multiplication. Remember, there's multiplication there. Move it by division. I'm going to move it this way this time instead of underneath as a fraction because they are equal. 30 divided by 10 is 3. It's the same problem as number 1, except the 5x was first attached to the other side, so we moved it over to get all our unknowns together. Number 3, 15x minus 10x equals 20 plus 5x. So I'm going to combine these here. 15x minus 10x is 5x's equals 20 plus 5x's. I like to keep my x's positive, but now I see that I'm going to subtract this 5x over, and it's going to go away. 5x minus 5x is 0x's equals 20. I'll divide by 0. Whoops, you're not allowed to divide by 0. No, you cannot divide by 0. So this is no solution. Division by 0 doesn't work. You could have also said, how can 0x's be 20? Nothing can equal something. Number 4, 15x minus 10 equals 20 minus 5x. So now I have an x term on both sides, and I have a constant term on both sides. I'm going to choose to get my x's onto this side. So this 5x is attached by subtraction. I can move them to the front. Remember, addition, it doesn't matter the order. 5 plus 15 is the same as 15 plus 5, but subtraction is going to matter a lot. I've moved him. Now, this 10, I don't want him here because remember, I want all the x's on one side and then I'll get them alone. This 10 is attached by subtraction, move it by addition to the other side of the equal sign. Now I'm going to combine these like terms. 5x's and 15 more x's is 20 x's equals 20 plus 10 is 30. I have all my x's on one side. Now just get them alone. 20 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. And this is my preference to write it as a fraction because then I can just reduce the fraction. 0 over 0 goes away, and my answer is 3/2. I review this a lot in fractions if it seems confusing. Number 5, 7x plus 6x equals 28 minus x. I'm going to combine these. 7x's plus 6x's is 13x's equals 28 minus x. I want to get all my x's on one side. So I always go to the side that's going to try to stay positive. So this is bigger, so I'm going to take this x and add it over. And as it turns out, it didn't matter. So I have x plus 13x is 14x's equals 28. Now I want to get the x alone. 14 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. I'm going to take this 28 and I'm going to write it as 2 times 14. Because then, what does 14 over 14 reduce to? 1. I get x equals 2. You may say, what if at this point I had wanted to bring the 13 over? Now in lesson 5, I show you that it's really better to keep things positive, but I'll just do 1 here. I'll have to bring this over by minus because he's attached here by plus. So I have 0 equals 28 minus 1 minus 13 is minus 14 x's. Now I have to get the 28 to the other side because remember you want all the x's on one side, then alone. He's attached by addition, move him by subtraction. Okay, so I have to move the paper up here a little bit. And I still want to get my x alone. Negative 14 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. Negative over negative is positive. I'm getting the same answer, but unless you've learned a lot about positive and negative numbers yet, it's easier just to first observe the problem and try to get the x's positive rather than going to the negative. There's nothing wrong with this, but until you've learned them, it might make you a little bit uncomfortable. Number 6, 45 minus x equals x plus 15. I see this x is positive. I'm going to take this minus x and add it over here as plus x. Now I've got only my x's on this side except for this 15. So I'm going to move this plus 15 as minus 15 to the other side of the equal sign. 45 minus 15 is 30 equals, this is 1x and 1x. 1x plus 1x is 2x's. Get the x alone, 2 is attached by multiplication, move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. And notice it doesn't matter which side x is on when we solve. We just want to get it alone and positive if we can. 30 divided by 2 is 15. Number 7, 8x plus 9 equals 2x plus 21. Okay, I'm going to take this 2x and subtract it over to this side. Remember, when you subtract, it always has to follow. It cannot come to the front. So I know that's up there. This 9, I don't want it over on the x side. It's attached by addition. Move it by subtraction to the other side of the equal sign. Now I'm ready to go. 8x's minus 2x's is 6x's equals 21 minus 9 is 12. Get the x alone, 6 attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign, and I'm getting x equals 2. Number 8, 8x plus 4 equals 44 minus 2x. I'm going to take this minus 2x and add it to the other side of the equal sign. So I'm getting this side with my x's. I don't want this 4 here because it doesn't have any x's attached. I'll subtract it to the other side of the equal sign. 8x's plus 2x's is 10x's equals 44 minus 4 is 40. Almost done. 10's attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. These zeros can reduce off because they're on the end, and I'm getting x equals 4. Number 9, 2x plus 8 equals 8 minus 17x. I'm going to bring this minus 17x over here as a positive 17x because I want to get my x's on this side because they'll be positive. This 8, though, has no x's with it. It's attached by addition to this side. I'll move it by subtraction to the other side of the equal sign. Now I just have to collect my like terms. 17x's and 2x's is 19x's equals 8 minus 8 is 0. I want to get the x alone. 19 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. 0 divided by 19 is 0. All done. I can divide 0 by 19, but based on, I think it was number 3 or number 2, you can't divide anything by 0. Number 10, 12x plus 3 equals 12x plus 11. Okay, I'm going to get my unknowns on this side. This 12x is attached by addition, move it by subtraction to the other side of the equal sign. This 3 is attached by addition, move it by subtraction to the other side of the equal sign, and I'm getting 12x minus 12x is 0 x's equals 11 minus 3 is 8. Here we go. How can 0 x's equal 8? This is untrue, so there is no solution. And it might make me think I can divide by 0, but remember, we're not allowed to divide by 0. No solution. Solving 9a, these are the try-its. So now that I've done the examples with you, why don't you take a screenshot and then try each problem on your own by pausing the video, trying it, and then watching me do it. Okay, let's get started. Number 1, 5x plus 5x equals 36 minus 2x. Well, I want all the x's on one side. So this minus 2x, I'm going to add to the other side of the equal sign. Now all my x's are on one side, so I'm going to combine them together. 5 and 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12 x's equals 36. I want to get the x alone. 12 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. 36 is the same as 12 times 3. And 12 over 12 gives me 1, so I'm getting x equals 3. Watch the fractions on Lynn desk piece and see how I reduce. It makes your life a lot easier. X plus x equals 24 minus x. I want to get all the x's positive and on one side of the equal sign. So this minus x, I'll move over to the side by addition. Now I have only x's here and only constants here. I'm going to combine these like terms. 1 and 1 and 1 is 3. I have 3 x's equals 24. Now the 3 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. And I'm getting x equals 8. 10x minus 10 equals 10 minus 10x. I want to get my x's positive, so I'm going to take this subtraction of 10x and add it to the other side of the equal sign. Get rid of its sign when I do that. And I always move and then cross out. Now this 10 has no x's with it. It's attached by subtraction. I'll move it by addition to the other side of the equal sign. 10 x's and 10 x's is 20 x's equals 10 plus 10 is 20. I want to get x alone. 20 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. X equals 20 divided by 20 is 1. Number 4, 15x minus 1 equals 5x. I want to get the x's on one side and positive. So this one is attached by addition. If there's nothing here, it's understood to be addition. So I'm going to move it by subtraction to the other side of the equal sign. Now I have all the x's together and I don't want this 1 here because it doesn't have an x with it. It's attached by subtraction, move it by addition to the other side of the equal sign. 15x minus 5x is 10x equals 1. Get the x alone. 10 is attached by multiplication, move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. Get x equals 1/10. 7x minus x equals 35 minus x. I see that this is going to give me 7x minus x is 6x is 35 minus x. I want to get this x over here because I want them all on one side. It's attached by subtraction, move it by addition to the other side of the equal sign. I have 1x plus 6x, you can put a 1 there if you'd like, and that is 7x equals 35. Get the x alone, 7 is attached by multiplication, move it by division to the other side of the equal sign, and I'm getting x equals 5. Number 6, 45 minus 3x equals 2x plus 10. I see that this is a minus 3 and a plus 2, so I'm going to move this minus 3x to this side by addition because I want to go to the side where the x's will be positive. This 10 is attached by addition. Move it by subtraction to the other side of the equal sign. 45 minus 10 is 35 equals 2 plus 3 is 5x's. Get the x alone. 5 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division, its partner, to the other side of the equal sign. 35 divided by 5 is 7. Number 7, 8x minus 9 equals 30 minus 2x minus 3x. I'm going to take these minus x's and add them to the other side. So it's going to get a little sloppy here. I'm going to add that 2x, get rid of his minus sign. I'm going to add that 3x. Okay, good. Now I've got all the x's on the left side. This 9 is attached by subtraction. He doesn't have an x with him, so I'm going to add him to the other side of the equal sign. Okay, now I'm going to clean this up. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 plus 3 is 13 x's equals 30 plus 9 is 39. I like my equal signs to line up. 13 is attached to x by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. And 39 divided by 13 is 3. There we go. If you ever wanted to check your work, you could go back into the original problem and go 8 times 3 minus 9. Is that equal to, and I put a question mark, 30 minus 2 times 3 minus 3 times 3. And I check the left side and see if it equals the right side. 8 times 3 is 24. Minus 9. Is that equal? And I keep putting the question mark because I'm checking my work. 30 minus 2 times 3 is 6. Minus 3 times 3 is 9. 24 minus 9 is 15. Is that the same as, let's see, 30 minus 6 is 24. 24 minus 9, guess what? It's 15. That's how you can always check your work if you'd like to, and always go back into the original problem. Don't go into something that you've reduced because maybe there is an error there. And that was number 8, not number 7, even though it said 7. Number 7, 8x minus 9 equals 24 minus 3x. I am going to take this minus 3x and add it to this side. And now I want to get this minus 9. Whoops, I forgot to cross it out. This minus 9, I'm going to add it to the other side. So now I have only x's on this side and only constants. Constants just means something without an x. 11 x's equals 24 plus 9 is 33. Okay, I want to get the x alone. 11's attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. I'm getting x equals 3. 2x plus 8x equals 8x minus 14x. I see no constants here, so I'll get started. 2 plus 8 is 10x. Now 8 minus 14 is actually negative 6x, okay? And I'm getting 10x equals negative 6x's, and I'll bring this negative 6 over by plus. So now I have 16x equals 0. I want to get x alone. 16 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign, and my final answer is 0. You may say, couldn't I have moved all these things over first? And I could have. If we go back to this problem like it is, and I could have gone minus 8x, that's him, plus 14x, that's him, and it leaves 0 here. And we're going to end up with the same thing because 2 plus 8 is 10, minus 8 is 2, plus 14 is 16x, which is what this was. And we get 0. So if you want to do it that way, definitely do it. I don't know why I went negative there, but I did it both ways. Number 10, 15x plus 3 equals 11x plus 14x minus 7. I am going to add these x's, so I'm getting 11 and 14 is 25 x's minus 7. And I still have the 15x plus 3. Whenever I have to combine, I usually have to rewrite. And you know I don't like to rewrite a lot, but combining, it demands it. So I'm going to keep this as my positive side. So I'm going to bring this plus 15x over as minus 15x, and he's gone. And I'm going to take this minus 7 and add him to this side. There's a plus already there. Okay, getting a little sloppy. 7 plus 3 is 10 equals 25 minus 15 is 10 x's. I want to get that x alone. 10 is attached by multiplication. Move it by division to the other side of the equal sign. And I'm getting x equals 1.